How many does Israel have nuclear weapons?
Well, everyone says so and thinks so, and I'm sure that they do, yes.
And how much aid has Israel gotten from America over the past 20, 25 years?
Oh, a tremendous amount. I mean,
$100 billion, as some have estimated?
Probably, yes.
Is it legal for the U.S. to give aid to a nuclear-armed country? Is that legal? Is it legal for the U.S. to do that?
We don't officially admit that they have the weapons.
But if they did, would it be legal?
Look, I understand.
What I'm trying to work out, Dr. Roberts, is that if, in fact, it's illegal and the U.S. has given them $100 billion, then what I say is, let's give Israel a chance to, own up and make good on their debts and repay everybody in the U.S. that $100 billion. I'm owed a few $1,000s. And why can't the current leadership in Israel send me, Max Kaiser, the $1,000 that they owe me because they've illegally pilfered that money from the U.S. taxpayer by not disclosing the nuclear weapons? Why can't that happen? You're an economist. You're a smart guy. Why can't that happen?
Because they own the United States government. As long as the United States is a puppet state of Israel, the atrocities will continue. Israel will, look, why is Obama not said anything? He's not said anything because it gives the Israeli propaganda time to set the story. And once the story is set, it won't be altered. And so he doesn't say anything. If you look in the American media, what you get over and over and over is the Israeli story. And the notion that this is like World War II against the Nazis is absurd. You may have seen what an Israeli said recently, is that their commandos were armed with paintball guns.
Right.
Well, this is preposterous. Everyone knows they weren't armed with paintball guns. But this will be repeated factually over and over in American media.
Yeah, and it's amazing, Dr. Roberts, how these new media outlets like Twitter are being co-opted by governments to spread misinformation and propaganda by merely taking over the trend index and other aspects of that technology. They can get the swarm or the wisdom of crowds to endorse the propaganda in a way that the propaganda meisters back in World War II could only, envy. Now, so basically you're saying that AIPAC basically has bought the White House lock, stock, and barrel. And I guess it all gets back to the fact that where did AIPAC get that money? Well, they got it because of all the cheap interest rates for the past 20 years that have allowed the speculators to borrow, speculate, keep the gains, socialize the losses at the expense of workers in America who are now facing the mud, unemployed, and trying to figure out how they got there, all the while being asked to support Israel.
Yes, it was just yesterday, I think, that Congress voted to increase war spending, but they cut unemployment benefits and Medicaid benefits. So I think that what we can say is that the United States government does not represent the American people. It represents the military security complex. It represents the Israel lobby. It represents Wall Street, the oil companies, the insurance industries, the pharmaceuticals. These are the people who who rule America. It's an oligarchy of powerful special interests, and they control politics with their campaign contributions. I mean, look at what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico. I think it's now, 40 days that enormous amounts of oil are pouring out into one of the most important ecological areas of the world. It's probably permanently destroyed the Gulf of Mexico, and the oil is still pouring out. And why is this? Because, first of all, the British Petroleum Company got permits that they shouldn't have been given because of all kinds of waivers that Cheney, the former vice president, got stuck in and forced the regulators to give to the oil companies. So they were permitted to go into deep sea drilling when they had no idea how whatsoever to contain a spill or what to do if something went wrong. And moreover, we see that BP has been focused for 40 days on trying to save the well, not save the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. This is becoming really the Bhopal disaster of America. And I would imagine if it gets worse, BP will be sold to some other corporation who will then completely wash their hands of any responsibility, and the oil will just sit there in the Gulf for time immemorial. In America, it resembles the Niger Delta at some point.
And the fact that they can't do anything about it is all the proof you need to know that the U.S. government should never have given a permit. How can you possibly give a permit for an activity that entails such tremendous risk and potential destruction when you have no idea what to do if something goes wrong? It shows a total breakdown of government responsibility.
Well, Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, thanks again for being on the edge, and I urge everyone to read his new book, How the Economy Was Lost, The War of the Worlds. Dr. Roberts, thanks so much.
Pleased to be with you, Max.
Alrighty, and that's going to do it for this edition of On the Edge. If you want to send me an email, please do so at ontheedge@presstv.com. Until next time, this is Max Kaiser saying bye, y'all.